Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina and today I'm here with you for another Sort My Stash 2024 video. And as always, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today this is the Dutch blend and with a slightly little, like maybe quarter or half of a teaspoon of honey in. Because if you find my voice is a little bit funky today, it is because my throat is ever so slightly itchy. So I have to take a little bit good care of it. But yeah, so there has a little bit of honey. The Dutch blend is pigweed tea. It is a black tea with some orange peels in it. So yeah, a black flavored, slightly ever hint of orange, and today also slightly bit of honey to sort of soothe my throat a bit, because yeah, as I said, it is ever so a little bit itchy. Maybe coming down with a spring cold. More like a summer cold, because we are in June and June is the first month of summer. Today's Sort My Stash 2024 is part 16. And part 16 is going to contain all of my Zeeman and Wibra yarns. Zeeman is a Dutch store. It is like a bit like a Dollar Tree in the sense of it is, yeah, what would you say? It's a value store, all right? And the same goes for the Wibra. I only do think there is like 2 or 3 Wibra skeins in total in the whole crate. The rest is from Zeeman. It seemed ridiculous to have a separate video only for the Wibra, given the fact that most of it is Zeeman. But those two stores are reasonably alike, and you will also see when I show you those yarns that they are really intercomparable. And therefore here in the Netherlands, when people, especially when they do, if they crochet blankets or vests, etc. from value acrylic, they often go to either the Wibra or the Zeeman to get up and to pick up some of their acrylics. Yeah, so let's go through the box that's here. And I'm just sitting here wondering, I might actually have some more yarns from them in a box somewhere else, where I have someone's yarn stash that I bought sometime last year. I wonder if those yarns could be from there either, but I'm not so sure right now. This is the yarn that I intentionally got myself, where I'm 100% sure I know where it's from. Zeeman might not show nicely, actually. I'm unsure how it shows on video screen. It might be mirrored and show correctly, but Zeeman, as such, is a Dutch store. I once got something from them online, and the amount of yarn I have left fits exactly in the crate. So it's kind of quite fitting that my Zeeman yarns is in a Zeeman box. And I'm just gonna open it, and we will talk about the individual yarns as come. I have a single skein of the Zeeman Julia, which is what you have here. It is a quite soft, smushy, squishy yarn. It is the colorway 2. I would say this is like raw white, right? This is not dyed white, this is like more like a raw white. It is quite soft, especially for yarn that contains wool. This is 90% acrylic and it is 80% wool. It is produced in Turkey, if I'm not wrong. Tends to be, at least. They're Ecotech branded 100, which means test against any harmful substances. This is a 100 gram skein, so 3.5 ounces to 170 meters. So that's about 185 to 190 yards. Wash at 30 degrees Celsius, so that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not bleach, do not tumble dry, do not iron, but you may dry clean it. You need 600 grams, so 6 skeins of this for a medium-sized sweater, and just 3 of them for a children's sweater. That said, I do believe that's knitted. You might need extra skeins if you chose to crochet. They recommend knitting needles 7 to 8 millimeters, crochet hooks 6 to 7 millimeters. And I only got the single skein of this because I got it to go with a different yarn where the size would be reasonably intercompatible and the content as well, even though this is slightly ever so softer. But I wanted to kind of maybe double up for hats or something like that. So it's more like an extra spare, and it feels quite nice for something that has 20% wool. It's not scratchy or itchy, so this isn't bad at all. And actually, the Zeeman has this rule that if you have a full skein left for any project, you can have them back in, but I have no intention of going back to the store with this one. They recommend, of course, swatching, etc. This skein has, like, I think 2.5, 3 euros. I don't know. It's no more than 3 at least. Sometimes they print the price here on, sometimes they don't. In this case, they didn't. But I would estimate it's about 2.5 to 3 euros. No more than 3, maybe 2.99 is a likelihood. So that's the Julia, and I just have the single skein of it. So obviously it's for making a hat or help lining something or whatever, and it would work really well with some of the other yarns I had. Or I could option for double layering it to get a little bit of a thicker yarn. Thickness wise, it's probably like a 4, I would say. It's like a good Aran weight. It's my guess. Now we are heading into the Royal yarn from Zeeman, and this is their value 100% acrylic. There's no price written on this, but I think it's like €1.30 or €1.40. It's definitely no more than 1.5 euros per skein, which is an insanely good price. Again, made in Turkey. Quite sure that you can find similar yarns of these with ice, or that ice could be producing them. This is 100 grams. 100 grams of yarn is 3.5 ounces again. This is 241 meters, so it's about 263 yards. You need 700 grams, so 7 balls of these to make a medium-sized sweater, or 4 balls to make a children's-sized sweater. They recommend 4 to 5 millimeter knitting needles or 5 to 6 millimeter crochet hook. Again, 100% acrylic, Ergotex branded 100. Yeah, made in Turkey. Colorway 61. So this is this lovely bluish yarn. And I do believe I got some of these yarn. The idea was to make tutorials, just simple stitch tutorials with them. And maybe, I don't know if I had anything left, hats or whatever. Not generally specified the exact project, but I have this one. Then I have 3 more yarns, which is from the Wibra, but they are the same concept of value acrylic. And honestly, I would say it's the same yarn, more or less, very intercomparable. Here we have the Saskia from the Wibra. They're also 100 grams. And what's interesting is it's 240 meters. So there's 1 meter difference in length. This would be a meter longer per the 100 grams. I don't know if that's a measuring thing, because they say plus minus 240 meters, where this is plus minus 241 meters. So if you look at them like this, you can see how intercomparable these are, even how they're spun. If I do thickness on this one, and if I take it on this one, they are so very alike. This would be the colorway 75, but I also have a light purple here, which is the colorway 150. And then I have one in 100% white here, which is the colorway 1. So I have 3 from the Saskia, and I have a 1 from the Zeeman. Undecided on how and what I'll do things. but the idea was, as said, to use some of these yarns for tutorials. This yarn I did buy for the purpose of a type of amigurumi I've been laying that I wanted to make, where I have some other yarns where this would fit really well into. But again, that is future plans, future projects. All of these yarns, price-wise, I do really believe they're like $129, $149, something in between. Price in the two stores, if they're different, it's no more than 10 cents. So you get a lot of yarn for good money at the store. It's just a general thing, right? They really generally give you quite some nice yarns for the money you pay. Then I have the party yarns. And the party yarns that I got 2 colors of and different amount of skeins, but we are gonna talk about it nevertheless. The party yarn I have is this gorgeous yarn. Look at this. It's a party mode. And it's €3.29 because the up top here it would be the Dutch price. €3.29 per skein is what I've paid for this yarn. Feels very nice. It is 91% acrylic, 9% polyester. It's 100 grams to 250 meters. So again, 3.5 ounces to 274 maybe yards. Fun fact is that these weigh the same, and this has more length. So it says a little bit about the condensity. There is more air in the 100% acrylics than there is in this one. This is the colorway 61. Again, Oekotex branded, made in Turkey. They say you need 6 to make a sweater, medium-sized sweater, or 4 balls to make a children's-sized sweater, a small child. 3 to 4 millimeter crochet hooks or 4 to 5 millimeter knitting needles. Yeah, party. I have 3 of this blue. And I remember when I got this blue, it was the last skeins they had. And I'm thinking I could maybe make a small bag or something like that of them. I haven't really started a project yet. I just wanted them because I thought they looked so gorgeous. Very gorgeous yarn. Then recently, and I really mean recently, such as in less than 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to the Zeeman store again because I needed to pick up something else. And they had party laying there again, but in this gold. Look at this golden color. It's colorway 92, the same yarn specs as the blue, except it's a different color. They could go well together, but what's interesting is you see here the specs are blue, but here they're really golden. And last winter I made unicorns, and I was really looking for a good yarn for making the horn. And I think this yarn could actually be awesome to make horns from. And I got 4 balls because that was the last 4 balls there. And if I don't want to do that with it, I can always turn it into something else, right? This is a gorgeous golden color. I can make like a whole cardigan. I can make handbags because it's really sturdy. And this yarn, it is chain spun. Like, it's not plied together, it's chain spun. Let's see. Focus. You're here. As you can see, it's chain spun. Absolutely awesome. It's gonna be nice to work with, which is another plus. So can't really complain, right? Then I have the Como yarn. I got this last summer, and first I got this yarn in, I got a single ball of them, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, but there's only this 1 ball left. I'll get the single ball and I'll figure out something I can do with the 1 skein project. 1 skein project, yeah. Como is €5 per skein for me, and it's this gorgeous variegated yarn. But look here, if I don't know if we can get the color showing nicely enough, but there is a shine hidden in this fuss. Sometimes it just pops out, but there is a green shine in this fuss of blue, teal, and green yarn. We have a worked up patch, so as if you should be knitting it at least. Again, Crochet branded 100. This is a 100 gram skein, so 3.5 ounces to 310 meters. 310 meters is 310 meters. It's like 334 maybe yards. 330, 34 yards. Again, 4 of these to make a medium-sized sweater, or 2 of these for a child's sweater. They recommend crochet hook 4 to 5 millimeter or knitting needles 5 to 6. The yarn itself is 39% acrylic, 35% polyamide, and 26% polyester. So even the fuss, you really would think, oh, there's wool in it. There isn't. There is no wool in this yarn. Absolutely zero wool. Can be washed at 30 degrees. Can be dry cleaned, maybe iron it low. Do not tumble dry, do not bleach. That's it. Colorway 50. And then I went to another store a while later, a month later, and guess what I found in that store? I found more Como yarn. So I ended up having 5 in total, 5 skeins in total. I am slightly ever so unsure if they're all the same dye lots. It feels like this is so ever different because it's darker, but it's just how the yarn is wound up. And you know what? Looking at these, I have been lucky so far. They are all the same dye lots. These 5 yarns are all the same dye lots, but I had to get them from 2 different stores. Lucky me. I was planning a sweater of some kind, but I'm not sure if it says 4 of them to medium size. So it could be more, it's turning into a cardigan. I'm not sure yet. I have it. I'm happy I have it. Not plans for any patterns and the like yet. It's gonna come. Right. Then I have 1 yarn left, of which I have 3 colors, and that is the Zeeman Milan yarn. But there's a little bit more story to the Milan yarns. The Milan yarns are similar to Ice Yarns Universe, Hobby's Metallico, Gazal's Rock and Roll. I do believe even that Ice might have a rock and roll yarn as well that's similar to it. So there's quite a few yarns that's similar to these. And that on its own warrant a completely different video, I think. Because, yeah, that's just how it is. So let's talk about them as they come. The first I have is this sort of dark blue. It's slightly different to see, but you can see it has a shade. And that shade is dark blue black. It's €4 per ball, which is quite a nice price for what you get. It is a yarn that's sort of chain spun with a blown content inside, which is really, really difficult to see with this dark one, I think. I do have a lighter yarn in here, which we can take a close look at in a few. So I have only this one, this single one. It would probably be perfect for some gloves or a little scarf or the like. It is the colorway 99. It's 100 grams to 230 meters. So 100 grams again is 3.5 ounces to 230 meters, which is 252 yards, approximately. Crochet branded 100. You need, according to this, you only need 2 skeins for a medium-sized sweater, which I have a difficult time believing, to be honest, and a single skein for a children's size sweater. I think this is absolutely wrong written, because I can't believe that only 2 of these makes a medium-sized sweater. I think you need at least 4. I might be surprised, who knows. They recommend 5 to 6mm knitting needles and 5mm crochet hook. Can be washed at 30 degrees, machine wash, so 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not iron, do not tumble dry, do not bleach, do not dry clean. This is 70% polyamide, 20% acrylic, and 10% wool. The Milan, and I have 2 more of them. And while the contents aren't completely the same as some of the other yarns I just mentioned, the feel to them and how they look and how they work out are. I have 4 of the Milan, which is in this sort of beige nude color. It's a colorway 2, and it's really like, it has a slight ever so pink shine, which is really difficult to catch on camera. Let's see if I can actually show the concept of how the yarn is made here. It is a set chain spun, and then the wool is kind of blown into it, which makes a fuss. Again, same color specs, not color specs, same yarn specs as the dark blue we just had. This is just a different one. I have another bag here with 3, so I have 4 in total. I got this with the idea of making a scarf, I think, or maybe a cardigan, something along those lines. It's a little bit in the pending what I'm gonna be making, but here we have it. It feels gorgeous, and it's a nice feeling, and I'm still quite happy that I haven't yet used it, because a few patterns has come along, and as I said, this yarn is really so much similar to some of the hobby patterns, and there is coming a few hobby patterns out that I would like to try out. And I have another yarn, another batch, which is a colorway 70. I am gonna take one out of this box, but there is 5 in this. And I'm sorry for the noise, because if I cannot make it, I cannot take out a single yarn to show you. This is a brown, dark brown. It's brown, but it shows more like black on the screen, but it is brown. There we go. You just get the right light here. As you can see, it's brown with a ever so dark brown. Quite gorgeous. Chain spun with the wool blown inside, and it feels nice as well. So basically, so much the same specs as so much other yarn. At least lengthwise, it might be the content are different. Here you can really see that this is brown and this is blue. They could even go well together, should you want it. And now my box is empty. So this, my friends, was all my Zeeman yarns. And I hope you really enjoyed going through my little stash, which isn't too big, of the Zeeman yarns. It's easy to get more because the Zeeman is just around the corner. Well, not just around the corner, but it is reasonably simple for me to get to. And if you haven't done it yet, and you do enjoy talking about yarn and looking through yarn stuffs and stashes, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching until here. And I'm going to wish you happy crafting, and take care until I see you again in my next yarn video. Yeah, there are definitely sweaters and cardigans and shawls in the mice for these Milan, and they're perfect for it. I even made, a while ago, I made dragon scale gloves from a similar yarn as this. I made a hat, and I made a big scarf. Which is also kind of why I got this, because I thought, okay, I could make it again if I wanted to. And yeah, it works up really nicely, and it's really a pleasure to work with this Milan. It really is. Warmly recommended. Yeah, that was it. Take care and happy crafting. Bye.